Michael, thank you so much for being on the show with me today.
Appreciate it, James. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
You are the founder of the app called Solo Circle.
Correct. Founded it probably about a year ago. Excited to get it into other people's hands. We should be launching somewhere close to March.
Okay, so you're also a content creator. That's how I discovered your mission that you're on. It feels like you've got a really important message for people, and it's around changing the narrative about being single. And I'm really curious to know a bit more. Where did all that start for you?
Yeah, definitely about changing that narrative of the societal pressure of what it means to be single and alone, how hard it is just to kind of be out and embrace it, that there's not something wrong with you just because you're single. What kind of comes about it is I was single or alone for a while, thought I was doing everything right, felt happy with myself, but not really completely happy with where I am on the inside. I didn't really know who I was and kind of felt forced to, oh, I need to find someone else to fix this problem. Kind of asked myself, why can't I do that? Why can't I look inward? Why can't I embrace this kind of season in my life and live it fully? So I just started finding new passions, trying new skills, even going out to restaurants, going out to trips by myself, and really figuring out what it's like to be single and alone and embracing it, not being scared of it, seeing what I can learn from it. And I just started kind of making this app for it, started making content for it, and seeing everyone just relate with it and pick up on it and use that message that there's nothing wrong with you if you're single, there's nothing wrong with you if you're alone, you're not behind, that it's okay to explore, it's okay to find yourself again and choose yourself. And it's just really become this new thing that people are really resonating with. And we've kind of built a community around my social network and
Hmm.
going from there. And we have a great wait list going for the app. And I'm excited to see, everyone's feedback and everyone's input in this kind of community that we're building.
That sounds empowering, and I'm
Yes.
very curious. When you mentioned that this was something that was going on internally for you, you were clearly experiencing something around being in the world and being single. You're very aware of your soloness, I suppose. What was going on for you there? It feels like you were discovering something.
Yes, definitely. It was just, I think, a bigger change for me. I've been in a lot of consistent relationships, and this is the first time I'm about to turn 38. So I was a little bit older and coming out of a relationship where I thought, this is the one that's going to take it. We're going to be
Right.
together forever. And you have that big relationship fail, and as being someone that's older, you're like, okay, now what? Is it a little late for me? Do I need to jump back into a relationship? So there's kind of that back and forth as get older. Am I running out of time? What's going on? What's wrong with
Mm.
me? There's all these kind of questions of you start looking inward, you start trying to fix these problems. Do I need to move to a new city? Do I need to start a new job? And then it really starts working yourself inward of, okay, there's not, someone else is not going to fix this problem. Someone else is not going to make me happy. It's on me to do that. So I'm just going to take this period alone. I'm going to fix
Hmm.
the relationship with me first, and just started slowly doing one step at a time, working on that, not thinking I'm on a certain timeline just because I'm getting older that I need to be with someone, that it's okay to be alone, that it's okay to stay in some nights, it's okay not to go out on every date. I can, and started really finding new passions about who I am, and what I wanted to be in life.
Hmm. So it sounds to me like you were going through this powerful transition from being in a long-term relationship to being single, but there were parts of you that felt drawn to perhaps thinking, oh, I maybe need to now look for a new relationship, or that this maybe is this a time where it's just a gap between that relationship and the new relationship starting, but it felt like that wasn't kind of fitting for you. You wanted to embrace something more rather than it just being like a stopgap single period.
Yes, it really started to connect with me of, yeah, this is just not a period of waiting. I
Yeah.
like to say, we have this new saying of, if you're single, it's not a waiting room. It's not a waiting room for the next part of your life. This is the part of life where it needs to be fully lived. So I'm not waiting for my next transition. I'm not waiting for my next relationship or my next big event. I'm going to start living fully now. So literally diving into exploring, going to restaurants, traveling, doing all the things that you kind of put aside. Oh, I'll wait for a relationship or I'll wait for someone else to do those fun, exciting things with. It just started to be like, I'm going to take charge on that right now. There's no point to wait.
I think that's a really important point to pick up on around some of the narrative, I think society is saying, which is that we can't experience a fulfilling life and do these fun activities unless we are in a relationship. It's like doing it solo feels like that's a big no-no. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are about why you think that might be, why we're so scared perhaps of doing things alone, going on holiday alone, going out to a restaurant to eat alone, anything that involves going out and experiencing life. What do you think the blocks are there?
There's definitely just that overall pressure from society that they've always had that message of, if you're single, if you're alone, you're doing something wrong, or maybe you're behind, or there's something wrong with you. So I think there's that fact of, oh, if you're out alone at a restaurant, okay, there might be something wrong with them if they're not on business. Why are they out eating alone? Why can't they find someone to eat with? Versus maybe they just want to dine alone. Maybe they wanted to try this place and they only had time to
Mm,
go by themselves. Versus also traveling alone is, maybe if you're on business, it's okay. But if you're traveling alone, there's something wrong with you that you can't find someone to travel with or explore with or share this part of your life with. That is kind of the other aspect of it is, why aren't you sharing this with other people? So if you're going alone, you just kind of keep that for yourself. You share that with yourself. You don't wait to have it with someone else. And if you kind of are forcing a relationship or trying to be like, oh, I need to wait till I find someone to go on that big trip, to go out to that big restaurant, maybe it won't be as exciting as you think, sharing it with that person as it would be going alone or sharing it with yourself. I know me going on restaurants alone, it's a much better experience if I really invested in it sometimes than finding some random person to go with.
it feels like that there are internal conversations going on based on what society presents, which is that if you're going solo, you can't find someone. Like
Mhm.
that you've done, it's almost like you've done something wrong. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's that, oh, you did something wrong, you're failing at life, you're running out of time, quick, you need to figure this out, or else,
Mm.
you're gonna die alone kind of feeling. Are you too selfish? Are you too rude? Are you, what's going on with you? Why aren't you nice enough where you can find someone else to go with you? But yeah, it's that inner fight of confidence of, what are other people thinking about me? What am I thinking about myself? So that is kind of what this big mission is about. Embrace the confidence of, it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. There's so many of us out there. There's so many people out there that are all doing this alone. Just learn to embrace it. I like to say you're not alone in being alone, because there's just so many of us
Mhm.
out here that are still fighting to either find that person or find that perfect relationship. I want to change the narrative of, it's okay. Let's be confident in going out alone, and we don't have to have those inward conversations of, we're doing something wrong. And hopefully, slowly, it will start changing into society being okay with it.
I wonder if you agree with this, but it feels like there's definitely a bias. Relationships are very much more favored. Being in a relationship, in film and pop culture, it's all centered around love, relationships, companionship, and it feels like we've built something that is contributing to people feeling like there's something wrong with them if they're not in a love relationship, or they don't want to be in a love relationship. I suppose it's not always for people that can't find someone, but some people actively choose it as well to live a solo life. So yeah, it's so dominant, the script around relationships are better, single life is a waiting room. It feels like there's a lot of work to do, I think, in trying to flip the script.
Yes, very much so. So much work. I mean, yeah, movies, rom-coms, every
Mm.
song on earth has, something to do
Yeah.
with love, and you're missing that person or you're in love with that other person.
Hmm.
Even going down to like, taxes and how the world works, and, they favor marriages or people that are in relationships and households. A lot of the feedback I get is just that it's expensive being single, it's expensive not having a dual income household. So there is even those kind of pressures. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to figure out that not all of us are meant to be in a relationship right now, or maybe even
Mm.
ever. I have a few people on my wait list that are just like, I'm in my 60s and I'm alone right now. This is how it's going to be, and I just need to embrace it. And maybe we should start making some rom-coms about what it's like to be alone and
Yeah.
self-love.
Hmm. Absolutely. And it feels like you're saying that you do believe that we can have a good, fulfilling life, a deeply relational life without a romantic partner. It feels like that's what you're trying to help people understand, that it's not about being in a relationship or not being in a relationship. It's about how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's not about like just giving up on maybe all relationships in life and just pushing them aside and isolating yourself, but yes,
Mm.
truly divesting and choosing yourself and finding out who you are first and building that relationship with yourself fully and being confident and comfortable and having that self-trust and self-love fully, and being okay with being alone would really help any future relationships, friends, work relationships, just pretty much who you are in the world, I believe. So yeah, there's that thing of you can be okay, you can be comfortable without a romantic relationship, as long as you find the relationship with yourself.
Hmm. And what's your experience of getting confident, getting comfortable, starting to really own and embrace solo life? Have there been challenges along the way? Have you had pushback from people, society, friends, family? How has it been actually embodying that for yourself?
Yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs. I feel like everyone's kind of on their own timeline with this. Some days, are better than others. I do have a lot of pushback, mostly from my parents. My mom or dad are always, oh, maybe we can just set you up with someone. I want you to be happy, because it's kind of that day and age of, I'm getting older, they're getting older, they want maybe grandkid or just me to be happy in a marriage. They see that. So there's that push there. And then from some other friends, yeah, they always asking, are you dating anyone? Are you being with anyone? And no, I'm okay. And then they always think, oh, well, I have the perfect person for you. Ooh, I'd like to set you up. And it's like, that's fine. I'm okay with meeting new people, but I'm really focusing on myself. And it's kind of that, well, okay, what, you don't want to meet my friend, or you don't trust me to set you up with someone? And it's kind of that back and forth pushback. It takes a lot of time, and you'll probably always have some pushback from your friends or your parents mostly, or there'll be
Right.
someone in your life, and you just kind of have to shrug it off and be like, yeah, that's just not what I'm doing right now.
Hmm.
Looking toward
And
dating myself.
it feels like the pushback is very well intentioned, but it does somehow still convey a message that you are in that waiting room. And it's probably like a constant conversation, it sounds like, that you have to have with yourself, that your loved ones, friends, family, they're keen for you to meet someone. And I'm really curious about it, because it feels like that's sometimes maybe a bit more about their feelings than it is about your happiness.
So it's just that funny. Yeah, it's something we want to change. We want to put that message out there that it's okay, but there'll still be those daily concerns of other people. I like what you said about it's kind of how they're feeling about you too. Maybe they just have, that certain companionship with you, either their friend or parent or loved one, and they want you to be happy and they think they're helping you be happy versus maybe you can have a conversation with them. It's like, what it would really make me happy if you supported this part of
Mm-hmm.
my life of being single, and maybe ask me who I'm dating, ask me what I'm working on, ask me where I'm traveling, ask me if there's any
Mm,
restaurants I've gone out alone or any books I'm reading. Um, what am I doing to make myself happy? What new venture am I on versus who am I
mm-hmm.
dating? Because
Mm,
that's not what's making me happy right now. So maybe we need to start stopping that conversation right at the head. Um, I'll probably still have troubles stopping that conversation with loved ones, but it is
mm-hmm.
that kind of friendly comparison of, oh, well, I'm not dating anyone, but I am working on this and I am working on myself and I found this new passion I'm working on.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
um,
gentle pushback with
gentle
with your
pushback
friends and
with their
family.
friend was
Let me just I'll politely remind you that this is a choice and I'm really
yes.
excited about what I'm working on, etc. But I wonder if it's like trying to find that balance between choosing to be confident, comfortable, happy in a solo life, but also being open to the idea of having a relationship.
Yes, definitely. A lot of feedback I get from people that are joining this community is they're all just looking for that balance. So, yeah, again, this isn't about pushing every relationship out of your life. It's focusing on you first. So I think when we're trying to find that balance, we start getting away from ourselves. Well, let me just try this out. It's about really finding what's best for you, not settling is what the thought process is there. You don't want to rush to fill the space. That's the first thing we think when we get out of a relationship or we're in a new transition of our life is, oh, I need to jump to something else. I need to jump on the next horse or get on the next train. Slow down, take this moment, take this season of your life, and figure out, who you are, or what you care about, what you really want in a partner or a partnership or a loved one. Who's the last couple hasn't been working, and maybe it's them, but maybe it's something that you need to work on internally. And I found that it's definitely hard to kind of look inward because maybe I was first scared of what I was going to find. I was scared of what I was going to see if I didn't know who I was, what was I going to find in there when I started really taking time to choose myself. But
Mm-hmm.
that's where all that, honestly, personal growth came from. And now, down the line, when I'm being open to a potential partnership, I just have a lot more on the plate that I need from them as I see myself kind of evolving and growing.
So it's of course it's okay to still like the idea of a relationship, to want to have a relationship. But if we're forever in a state of desire or we feel that we're lacking, then we're missing the opportunity to have a really healthy relationship with life as it is right now. It's like we're deferring to some future place. And you can choose to embrace it, or you can spend your time thinking, oh, what if?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can choose to embrace it and find the perfect life for you right now, and then when someone else comes along, they don't need to fix anything. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
make it perfect. You're fine with or without them, kind of thing. Yes.
Tell me more about the community that you're creating. Cool.
Yeah, so I started this wait list a few months ago. We're looking to launch the community on the app in March, and I started putting out a lot of social media, a lot of content, and it's really connected with people. And we have a little over 6,000 people on the wait list now to be in the community. I email back and forth with all of them, keeping everyone up to date, getting their feedback. I love hearing all their stories, and I ask them what's the hardest part about being single, about being alone. And it seems like everyone kind of has a different path, a different story,
Mm.
but similar in so many ways. So it just makes me see all these different types of people of all different ages that we're all fighting that societal pressure and fighting what it means to be alone and finding that balance. What if I needed a relationship, or what if I'm too lonely being alone? How do I figure this out? So it's this community where I'm hoping we can really embrace it and maybe kind of figure it out together. We'll be connected in a way, a community together, and people can meet each other that are going on similar issues,
Mm-hmm.
and we can all grow separately but together.
Mm.
That's the thought process. And yeah, putting out a lot of content. A lot of people have been resonating with it and enjoying it, and I really appreciate that. And a lot of people will be commenting and talking to each other in the comments as well. So it's kind of like a community there. So it's a community of people being alone
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
funny way.
What are you learning from these wonderful people? Do things stand out that you're starting to go, okay, I can see commonalities here, shared experiences? What are you
Hmm.
picking up on?
Yeah, so a lot of people are going through a big life transition, whether they've been married for, 10, 20 years, and they're just recently divorced, and so they just don't know what life alone is quite yet, and it's a scary moment. Or coming out of a big relationship, what happens? It's this scary moment that isn't talked about enough, that it's okay. You're doing it.
Mm,
You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Just take it one day at a time. Don't rush to fill that space. Um, Other things is right on the opposite side is, oh, I've been alone for 5 years, 6 years. I haven't found anyone. I'm getting older. Um, what am I doing wrong? Is there something I need to fix? I was looking to be alone for a couple years, but not this many. So it's kind of
mm,
that opposite side of the spectrum of they've enjoyed going and traveling and being alone and going out to eat alone and finding new passions. But well, now it's starting to get lonely. And where do I find my person? And where do I have that community? People that are excited to join, that are excited to embrace this part of their life, excited to try new things and travel more, and be okay with being single and not worry about the societal pressures that their family or their friends or other people have. And
mm,
everyone is really trying to fight the loneliness, because
mm,
that's the one thing I've really learned with me posting content is, yeah, I post about being single, being alone, but with all this feedback, with all these people talking, with all these comments, it really makes me feel supported and not lonely at all, because other people have that voice and we kind of connect because we're all on the same path.
Can we talk about loneliness?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. It
Mm,
will come out of nowhere. It'll come early in the morning, late nights. You could be single for years and it will still creep in on certain times, especially during the holidays. Or you see Valentine's Day's coming up, you see all these other people excited to go out. Why don't I have someone to go out with? Or why don't
mm-hmm,
I have someone to talk to? It does creep in a lot, but what I've noticed about loneliness is to try to rephrase it as confidence and being comfortable. So I notice I get really lonely when I'm not comfortable about something happening. So if it's Valentine's Day, I
mm-hmm,
don't really feel comfortable about that fact that everyone else is going out and enjoying a loved one and I'm not. But what I decide is, okay, why don't I get dressed up? Why don't I take myself out? Why don't I buy myself chocolate? There's the confidence behind, man, it's okay that I feel a little lonely right now, but I'm going to embrace it.
mm-hmm,
I'm going to figure it out myself. I'm going to become my own answer to loneliness and feel comfortable in my own skin. Whether that's you're at home alone in your apartment or you're out and you see a bunch of other people together and you're feeling lonely, you have to embrace it and feel comfortable with it and see what you can do to work around it. I mean, it's really hard because there's not a lot of ways to get away from it. No matter what you do, no matter how comfortable you are, it will creep in, and it's a feeling that you have to work on and get past, and try not to let it bother you. Try not to let it hurt you. The fact that you start feeling lonely, you're like, oh, I need to fix this. Just let it happen, feel it, and let it pass and see what you can learn from it.
I empathize greatly with the feeling. I feel that there's a scary societal view about loneliness that we hear it a lot. Loneliness kills. Chronic loneliness can be devastating. So I think it's important to understand that there are levels of loneliness where maybe we can feel profoundly lonely, that we've got no one around us, friends, family, romantic partners, or we can feel a little lonely. It's very subjective. What's your life look like at the moment, and where are you in it?
Yes, yes, 100%. Yeah, everyone definitely has a different path of loneliness, some
Mm-hmm.
much harder than others. Some, like you said, there's just that fleeting moments that you can get past. But then, yes, some who just got out of a big divorce or got out of a big change, or they don't have anyone around them. They've moved to a new city, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes very detrimentally lonely for sure.
I really like what you said. You are your own answer to loneliness. And I wonder if that what you're saying is, if you are in a healthy relationship with yourself, that you can manage better those highs and lows, those moments of loneliness, if you're not disconnected from you. So I feel like you're advocating the relationship with self as highly important.
Yes. Take that time, whether it's meditation, whether it's journaling, whether it's just finding that space to really think on yourself and your thoughts, and you start getting those feelings coming up and you know how to take care of it.
So there's some self-soothing going on and filling your life with things that bring you joy as part of your self-care routine. It's connecting with yourself, not suppressing your feelings, talking to others, and making sure that you're remembering that actually the biggest relationship you're ever going to have in life is the one with yourself.
Yeah, 100%. It's the biggest relationship you'll ever have. And just to take care of it and find the routines, even that just work best for you, and find new skills that you care about that will lead to new passions that, are for you, not for someone else. You're not doing this life for anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
but really for yourself in the end.
Mm.
So, yeah, those moments, those things you can do for yourself are the things that matter for sure.
And there's a difference. So you can be alone but not feel lonely, or you can feel lonely and not be alone, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. You can definitely be lonely and not be alone. That's probably when there's definitely some things to work on, or there's some relationships that aren't fitting with you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then, yeah, being alone and not lonely, once you get to that point, you really feel comfortable in your own skin, confident with who you are. You live a full lifestyle. You get up in the morning and you're excited about what you're doing in the day, whether it's your work, whether it's what you're doing outside of work. You're not rushing to fill the space with someone else. You're rushing to fill the space with what you need, with the events in your life, the experiences that you truly get to enjoy. And that's when you start getting okay with being alone and not lonely, because you have enough going on that really excites you and makes you happy.
Yeah, you said that rushing to fill the space. It feels like that's the trap we can fall into sometimes, is something changes in our lives, a relationship might end, for example, and then there's this sense of urgency that almost like we can't pause.
Hmm.
And I wonder if it's about feeling uncomfortable in feeling the feelings of change, finding that you're sad and upset and you're grieving, for example, and we don't want to feel the suffering, so we might hurry off and try and find something to take it away.
Yes, scared of that change for sure. Is like, oh, this is an unknown area.
Hmm.
I'm used to being in relationships. I'm used to having loved ones around me. Let's get another loved one around me. Let's get another relationship real quick, because I'm scared. I don't want to be one of those people that's single and alone and scared about being lonely and not sure what to do. There is definitely that change, or that unknown of what this part of your life is supposed to mean, or what it's supposed to do for yourself. But what I've found from being single for a few years now is this has been the best part of my life. Taking that pause and
Hmm.
finding out who I am on the inside, and finding new things that I care about versus just jumping into a new relationship and hoping I get that from the new relationship. So, in my mind, this has been the best pause for me personally. So, I'm kind of hoping a lot of other people find that pause as a big help to their life. It's okay. You're right on time. You're not running out of time. You don't need to be in that relationship. If anything, this time for yourself will really make the next relationships in your life so much healthier.
That's an important point. It's incredibly inspiring to hear someone say the best times of my life, or some of the best times of my life, have been when I've been single. And then I wonder what happens when you get into a relationship. Something seems to happen when people get into relationships where they maybe lose themselves. And
Hmm.
so you found yourself, and then you lose yourself. It's like this connection, disconnection, connection, disconnection. And
Yeah,
it makes me think a lot about how do you keep that wonderful feeling that you've discovered about being single and infuse that into your next relationship.
yeah, that's a great question. Still figuring that one out for myself because yeah, there is that part of me where I found myself, my relationship with myself is so important
Mm,
that it's going to be maybe a little bit harder to find that next relationship that fits into that because once you get into a relationship there's that message of oh you should love the other person more than you love yourself. It's a give
mhm,
and take. It's if you care too much about what you're doing you're selfish or whatnot. So there is
yeah.
that kind of how do I find the comfort in being okay with a new relationship while still focusing fully on my needs and not giving up my needs for their needs while still, showing I care about them and being in that relationship and not being
Mhm,
selfish. So again, there will have to be that balance, but I'm hoping that the next relationship I get into, I will find that balance and I'm not really worried about it because I have this relationship with myself. So if my next
mhm.
relationship doesn't work because I'm too focused on myself, then that's okay. Then I can be single again until I find the right one that will have the perfect balance.
And it is a very subjective thing. So I know it's difficult to to talk about more broadly. Everyone's going to have a different take on it. But I feel like maybe one of the more universal messages is prioritize the relationship with yourself, and that a healthy relationship balance would be that no one would ever be asking you to abandon yourself. Nobody'd ever be expecting you to stop connecting with yourself. And if you start noticing whether that's because of pressures from someone else or that you're falling into old patterns that you've experienced in your life before, then that's time to pause and go, oh, I think this is happening again, or what's going on here? I don't want to lose connection to me. Does that
Yes,
make sense?
it makes so much sense, 100%. And it's, yeah, you don't want to lose that connection to you. And once you start feeling that, oh, I'm changing a little bit too much, or this other person is trying to change me of
Mm,
what I've built for myself, yeah, you don't want to get too far away from that. And, you got to kind of combat it and fight back at it and be like, well, this is just who I am. This is what I've built for myself over the years. So maybe we can, come together, or maybe it's time to separate from that.
either way, there's a lot of learning in there.
Mm.
I think celebrating your relationship with yourself is not, it's not wrong for that to be a priority. I think it should be a priority. I think people are scared, aren't they, that all of a sudden they're going to become so self-centered and so have so many barriers in the way that they won't, you know, they've got no space for someone.
Yeah, there's definitely that scared of, okay, I'm going to start being so focused on myself that no one else will want to be involved in my life, or I won't want anyone else around me because
Yeah.
I'll just enjoy my own time so much. I know a few friends were talking to me about that. Like, well, if you start doing this, then how are you going to ever be okay with letting someone else in? I really don't think that's fully the case. I just think you're not going to be okay with letting the wrong people in then.
So people are on the waiting list for Solo Circle. What's happening when it launches? What can people expect from the app? Tell me more about what the app's actually going to have.
Yeah, we'll be launching quickly in the States to get the beta and all the testing out, and then we'll be
Hmm.
launching global once we kind of have all the fixes in place. A lot of it is just early testing. We just want to get something out there and see pretty
Hmm.
much the feedback from everybody is the most
Mm.
important thing to me. So I have this product, but I know it's not perfect, so I just want people to get on it and see what they have from it, get the feedback, and we kind of build it around people's needs. Right now, it's pretty much just based on a community of you can find other people that are alone or being single uh, around you in your area and what their paths are, what they're doing. There'll be a nice feed or a forum where you can kind of post about your life. There'll also be this fun thing where it just shows what other people are doing. So if there's new restaurants that a lot of people are going to and dining solo, it'll just be up on your feed or new places to travel. There'll be like a little explore page for solo experiences that you can find yourself and explore or find new passions on. So it'll be just this fun explore page of what all these other solo or single adults are also doing.
It's community, it's connection, sharing experiences. Oh, I went here the other day and it was really nice. Or have you tried this or thought about this? And inspiring people to embrace their solo life rather than fearing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm,
Exactly what it
mm,
is. Yeah, embrace it, explore, don't fear it. You can see all these other people that are doing it too. So just kind of jump on this app and find yourself, find your solo path and see where it takes you.
mm. Because it feels like the app's going to offer a specific place where people that are perhaps struggling then with being single or feeling alone, that's where the conversation is happening in a really healthy way, targeted on that area of life. So people know exactly what they're getting. It's just positive story, positive narrative about being single and supporting one another.
Yeah, 100%. I love
Mm,
that positive narrative, exactly what we're trying to do. Um, really make you feel comfortable with this part and this transition in your life and see what comes from it for yourself. And that's all separately here to support your growth as we're growing as well.
So America first, and then if all goes well, it will be going global. So that's incredibly exciting to have thought about this to be an idea, a concept, and then actually come into fruition.
Yeah, it's been a fun little journey just thinking of this idea and seeing how it's helped my life, but seeing how I can be like, oh, maybe I can start making it just a small thing in Chicago, and then started growing into, well, let's just make it for the whole US, and then okay, let's just make it for everybody and just see that there's so many people out there kind of fighting this battle, trying to find that balance. And maybe we can grow enough to really change that narrative. That's the mission of one day to being like, oh, it's oh, you're going solo or you're going single. That's cool. That's awesome. What are you doing? Versus who are you going with? So hopefully the
Yeah.
big idea is just to kind of change that narrative. If we can just help, everyone feel more comfortable, that would be a great enough mission and goal too. I
Mm.
know just starting this community, even though the app hasn't launched yet, and just seeing the feedback from the emails, I feel like it's just really had a lot of voices where people feel comfortable to be like, okay, I actually feel like this maybe is a place for me. This is what I need. So that really
Mm.
makes me feel great.
And I love your content on Instagram. I'm so curious where you get your inspiration. How does that come to fruition? Tell me more about how you create.
Yeah, the creating content was definitely a new skill or passion of mine that I didn't know I had. I just started creating to get a solo circle out there to other people, and it's become a fun thing. I really like doing it, and I watch a lot of other people's videos, or I just see things on TV, and I try to maybe switch that rom-com I saw and make it to something about being single. So I'm always changing around some narratives. I have a little fun with it. I like to have some deeper messages out there that really connect, but it's just kind of fun stuff. And I've noticed that just sharing it, a lot of people are like, yep, that's me. I connect with that. So it's just
Hmm.
really promoted me to keep sharing, keep improving. I like to have funny ones, but also some ones that are deeper that really try to connect with people
Hmm.
and realize that it's okay to be alone, it's okay to be single.
I wonder if you've come across people sharing their experiences of cultural differences, because
Mm.
I'm not the most well traveled. I have been abroad, mostly to Europe. And what I've experienced is society is set up for people to be single or in a relationship, in a group, especially if you think about restaurants, for example. People dining alone is not a weird thing. And I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in the UK, there's a little bit of it's odd to do that. And I'm curious if that's come through with the people you're connecting with.
Yes, very much so. Definitely a lot of different people from different cultures coming through. One in particular I'm thinking of is a lady that's from Japan, and she just got out of a marriage, and it's one of those things that in Japan, if you're single, you are just looked, you're passed on for sure, that you have to be supporting a man, that you have to be taking care of a man and be in that perfect marriage and relationship. If you're single and you're an older woman, that it's just looked so poorly on. Um, and it's just hard to be like, how do I even embrace being solo if everyone just passes on me? Do I need to move to the States? Was even a
Yeah.
question.
Mm.
So I know in the States, I feel like there's definitely a better balance here. It's a little bit more accepted to be single and more alone. Yeah, restaurants are kind of harder looked down upon, but not as much in bigger cities. It is getting a lot better. You see a lot of people dining alone, that aren't just going to the bars, that they're going to nice restaurants or going to their favorite event, whether it's a movie or some kind of play. They don't mind going alone. It's a little more accepted here. I do
Hmm.
have a few people from the UK, and I have a few people from South Africa that are very worried about that connection of I don't like to go out alone, or I don't like to be
Mm.
seen in a restaurant alone. It seems weird, and people look at me, and I just feel very uncomfortable with it. So, where you grew up and where you're from and that culture is hard. We all are kind of finding different ways to combat this. And I know
Mm.
it's easier for some than others, especially with age. And that's a big part of it too. As you get older, people kind of like, why are they alone and they're older, versus younger? If you're alone, it's not as looked down upon. They're still finding their path, maybe. So
Hmm.
definitely a lot of different cultures. I'd say there's no really the perfect fix. Just everyone's kind of on their own path, and maybe, yeah, a community app like this, we can see other points of view, just like that woman in Japan could say, like, oh, it's okay to be single and alone in the US, like, and it's not okay here.
Mm.
What's going on? So you just kind of see
Yeah.
that combination of, well, if they can do it, maybe I can't.
Culturally, it's so ingrained. People, so shaped and molded by where they grow up and who raised them. And whether it's ethnicity or gender or anything really that makes you feel different, that can be incredibly challenging, I'd imagine, for people to embrace their solo life. So having a community that may be thousands of miles away, but gets them to think, oh, it's not like that for everyone. And
Hmm.
that's how the ripple effect of change starts happening, isn't it? Even in,
Yeah.
in really strict cultures, it's like, well, that's not the same all over the world. And maybe even though I might feel scared, maybe I can work on that and get the courage up to travel more or to start pushing back against the rules and restrictions or the negative narrative about being alone. So yeah, that community it's got a wide reach,
Yeah.
which is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. They have that wide reach,
Mm.
and seeing how other people connect on all of the different parts of the world hopefully can help
Mhm.
us all.
So can people still join the wait list for the app?
Yeah, the wait list is still open. We're still building it until launch and emailing back and forth. So feel free to join it. You can go to solocircleapp.com, or you can find me on Instagram at solo underscore experiences. And I have the link on there. You can go on there, go on the website, just contact me, and we'll put you on the wait list, and I'll keep you updated with everything going on.
What do you think would be the one message or something you really want every single person out there to hear and to know? What might that be?
I would say is it's okay to choose yourself over everyone else. And what I'm thinking about right now is, Valentine's Day is coming up. It's a hard day to be single and alone, but embrace it. Take yourself out, get dressed up, go to your favorite restaurant, go to your favorite movie, go to your favorite event. Take that time, that special night, and take it for yourself and see what will come from that. It will be the most enjoyable experience and
Hmm.
start building that relationship with yourself.
Well, I'm so excited about the launch of the app. I think the community is going to grow more and more and more. And what a wonderful mission that you're on to change the narrative around being single, being solo. And I wish you the best of luck with everything that you're working on. And I shall be watching via Instagram and seeing how that unfolds for you. But thank you so much for being on the show today and sharing this message.
I appreciate that. And I'm so happy you had me on and followed me on Instagram and we were able to connect. And
Mm.
it's been an amazing experience. And you're such a wonderful host. And thank you for all the content you put forward to really help other people as well. Your messages alone that you bring forth are amazing. So I'm glad this is part of that message.